Now we'll be discussing certain special provisions, that is deductions in special cases. Number one is tea, coffee and rubber development account. In case the assessee is engaged in the business of growing and manufacturing, say tea, coffee and rubber in India, then he will be allowed a deduction under section 33AB. How much amount he has deposited on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income or within 6 months from the end of the previous year, which was earlier, in the NABARD account or a special account which has been opened basically in a scheme which has been framed by the tea board, coffee board or rubber board. So the amount so deposited in that account or 40% of the profits derived from such business before making deduction under this section and before adjustment of the brought forward losses, the same will be what? Allowed as deduction. So fundamentally, say if a assessee is engaged in the business of growing, manufacturing and tea, coffee and say rubber, say profits and gains of business and profession before allowing deduction under this section is say 120 lakhs. And he has what? Deposited say 50 lakhs in NABARD account as per the provisions on or before the say due date of furnishing the return of within 6 months from the end of the previous year, which I say earlier, he has deposited 50 lakh rupees. So he will be entitled deduction of what? 40% of the profits, that is 48 lakhs, or 50 lakhs which are lower. So he will be allowed a deduction of what? 48 lakhs. So this is basically deduction on the basis when you are depositing the amount in the this NABARD account or say deposit account, you will be entitled deduction. No deduction will be allowed to the say partner of a firm or a member of AOP or BOI. If AOP or BOI or say partnership firm has claimed deduction, then in that particular circumstance, the partners or the members will not be entitled for deduction. For any amount, if a deduction has been claimed in any particular year, for any amount if deduction has been claimed in any particular year, then for the same amount, deduction will not be admissible for any other year. For the same amount, deduction will not be admissible for any other year. Then assessee will have to get his books of accounts audited and a report is to be furnished before the specified date. That is whatever the due date of furnishing the return of income, then prior to 1 month, he has to furnish the report that he has been claiming deduction properly. In case if any amount is withdrawn from this NABARD account or a special account, the same is to be utilized in accordance with the scheme for the purposes which have been specified in the scheme. And in case if any amount which has been withdrawn from the NABARD account or the deposit account and the same is utilized for purchase of any capital asset. If the same has been utilized for purchase of any capital asset, which capital asset? That is any machinery or plant to be installed in office premises or residential accommodation including guest house or say office appliances other than computers, any plant or machinery whose actual cost is allowed as reduction by way of depreciation or otherwise in one financial year, or any new machinery or plant installed in industrial undertaking, basically manufacturing the articles which have been specified in the 11th schedule. So in case if the amount has been withdrawn and utilized for these purposes, in that particular circumstance, what will happen? What will happen in that particular circumstance? What happens is the amount so utilized for purchase of those assets will be what? Chargeable to tax. If any of the amount which is utilized for purchase of these specified assets, the same will be chargeable to tax. If amount has been withdrawn on closure of business, if amount has been withdrawn on closure of business or dissolution of firm, it will be what? Taxable. However, in case of liquidation of company, death of assessee, death of individual, or partition of HVF, the same will not be what? Chargeable to tax. If any amount has been utilized in accordance with the scheme, if any amount has been utilized in accordance with the scheme, then the expenditure so incurred, the same will not be deductible. If the amount has been utilized in accordance with the scheme, the expenditures so incurred will not be deductible because we have already claimed deduction at the time of deposit. Then in case if the amount has been withdrawn in accordance with the scheme, but the same amount is not utilized, if the amount is not utilized, then in amount not so utilized will be what? Chargeable to tax. If any asset whose cost has been allowed as reduction, say we have purchased tea estates, the cost has been allowed as reduction. Now we transfer those assets. If these assets have been transferred within a period of 8 years from the end of the year in which the same is acquired, the cost of the asset will be chargeable to tax as business profits. So fundamentally, here in respect of tea, coffee, and rubber development account, assessee is entitled deduction when he deposits the amount in NABARD account or deposit account in accordance with the scheme. His deduction is what? The amount so deposited or 40% of the profits derived from such business before making deduction of this section and before adjustment of brought forward losses. Okay, now here say he has been getting a deduction, say he is engaged in tea business and he has got a deduction of 48 here. So the remaining PGBP is what? 72 lakhs says the PGBP, and then we will be making the bifurcation. Here 60% will be regarded as agricultural income and 40% will be regarded as what? Business income. So this way, everywhere if any amount is withdrawn, not utilized, we have to do 60-40. Here the asset has been transferred whose cost is taxable, it will be made 60-40. Or if it is say rubber business, it will be made 65-35. Say likewise, if it is a coffee business, 75-25, or further processing of coffee there, it is 60-40. So this is tea, coffee, and rubber development account, which we have seen here. Then section 33 AB is what? Same as of 33 AB. It is site restoration fund. Site restoration fund. Fundamentally, what is the eligibility? Here the assessee is engaged in the business of what? Prospecting, extraction or production of petroleum or say natural gas, and or say both. He is engaged in this business, and basically the amount which is deposited in the SBI account or deposit account before the due date, before the end of previous year, or 20% of the profits which is derived from such business, whichever is less is the amount of deduction which is admissible. So fundamentally, the assessee is engaged in the business of prospecting, extraction or production of petroleum or natural gas or both in India. Now here they have to deposit it before the end of the previous year, the amount in SBI account or deposit account. The deposit account is opened in accordance with the scheme which has been framed by Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, and the amount so deposited or 20% of the profits derived from such business which is lower, the same will be eligible as deduction. If any interest is credited to deposit account, same will also be what? Deemed to be deposit. Same will also be what? Deemed to be deposit. So that has been provided in section 33 ABA, that is site restoration fund. Then we come to what? Section 35, that is expenditure on scientific research. This is also very important, section 35, expenditure on scientific research. Now here, if the expenditure has been incurred by the assessee, if it is a revenue expenditure, that is 35(1)(1), revenue expenditure has been incurred by the assessee, 100% of the expenditure so incurred will be allowed as reduction. Capital expenditure which has been incurred, 100% of the expenditure so incurred, that is 35(1)(4), 100% of the capital expenditure so incurred other than cost of land, the same will be what? Admissible as deduction. Now expenditure which has been incurred here within a period of 3 years prior to the date of commencement of business. Expenditure, whether capital or whether revenue, which has been incurred within 3 years prior to the date of commencement of business, the same will be allowed as deduction under 35(1)(1) or 35(1)(4) in the previous year in which the business so commences. So expenditure incurred within 3 years prior to date of commencement of business, the same will be deductible in the previous year in which the business so commences. Then we are making payment. Say if any payment has been made to any university, college or research association or institution for scientific research, that is what 35(1)(2). This is approved research associations are there, universities or colleges for scientific research is there, or say it is Indian company, payment is made to Indian company, approved Indian company for scientific research, or it is for social science or statistical research, or it is for social science or statistical research, there 100% of the sum so paid will be what? Allowed as deduction. 100% of the sum so paid. Similarly, if payment is made to approved national laboratory, payment is made to approved national laboratory, university, IIT or a specified person. Here the program is approved. Here the program is approved. Then 35 2AA is there. If program is approved, 100% of the sum so paid is what? Admissible as deduction. 100% of the sum so paid, the same is admissible as deduction. Then in case if a company assessee is there, in case company assessee is there and company is engaged in the business of biotechnology, or the company is engaged in business of production or manufacture of any article or thing other than the article or thing which has been specified in the 11th schedule, the company assessee is engaged in in-house research and development facility. In-house research and development facility which has been approved by the prescribed authority, then in that particular circumstance, 100% of the expenditure other than the land and building will be admissible. 100% of the expenditure other than land and building will be admissible. For land, deduction will not be admissible under 3514. It won't be admissible under 3514. Therefore, land is not admissible. For building, you can claim what? Deduction under section 3514. Otherwise, it is 35(2)(ab). Those company assessees which are engaged in in-house research and development technology, deduction will be admissible. So this is an important one. Expenditure on scientific research. Earlier weighted deduction was there. Now this weighted deduction has been reduced. Now 100% of the expenditure so incurred will be what? Allowed as deduction. And in case if capital expenditure on scientific research remains unabsorbed. If capital expenditure on scientific research remains unabsorbed, same treatment as unabsorbed depreciation. There will be same treatment as unabsorbed depreciation if capital expenditure on scientific research remains unabsorbed. Then we are having section 35 ABB. What section 35 ABB is providing? Whatever expenditure has been incurred for obtaining what? License to operate telecommunication services. The capital expenditure which has been incurred, the same will be allowed as deduction on actual payment basis during the period of license. Say we have incurred 350 crores capital expenditure, license term is 10 years, then this 350 crores will be allowed as reduction, 35 crores each. In case if payment is made in installments, one installment is of 200 crores, license term is 10 years, other installment is 180 crores, license term is say 9 years. So here this will be allowed as deduction during the term which license so remains, in case the payment is made in installment. Now, if say we have made the payment, but the business do not commence at that particular point of time, then whenever your business commences, what is the remaining period of license? What is the remaining period of license for that, then during that term, deduction will be what? Admissible. Now, there is a tax treatment of sale of license in case if whole or part of license is sold or transferred. If you transfer whole or part of license, and the sale proceeds exceeds what? The amount remaining unallowed. So say we have incurred expenditure of 350 crores. For 10 years, we have taken a deduction of 70 crores. Now 280 crores is the remaining amount. Whole or part of the license is transferred and the sale proceeds basically exceeds the amount remaining unallowed. Sale proceeds are 320 crores. In this case, whether whole of the license is sold or part of the license is sold, to the extent of the deduction which has been allowed. Here, profits will be regarded as 40 crores will be business profits. It's sold for say 360 crores, then your business profits cannot exceed what? The amount which has been already allowed as deduction. So the excess sale proceeds to the extent of deduction which has been already allowed, the same will be chargeable to tax as business profits. So in this case, the business profits are 40 crores. If the license is transferred for 360 crores, then your business profits, though it is total profits are 80 crores, but 280 and 360, it is 80 crores. But the taxation will be of same as of balancing charge, 70 crores only. In case if whole of the license is transferred, and sale proceeds are less. So if whole of the license is transferred and here say sale proceeds are 200 crores only, then in this case 80 crores will be regarded as a business loss and the same will be allowed as deduction under section 35A(b). Then in case part of the license is transferred, if part of the license is transferred and sale proceeds are less than the expenditure remaining unallowed. Sale proceeds are what? Less than what? The expenditure remaining unallowed. Then the deficiency will be allowed as deduction during the period of license. Deficiency will be allowed as deduction during the period of the license. Now here, the license term was 10 years. We have claimed deduction for 2 years. Now it is 280. Now part of license has been sold for 200 crores. 80 crores remaining. The same will be allowed a reduction in 8 years. So that is what tax treatment under section 35A(b). However, the above provisions of transfer will not be applicable in case of amalgamation and demerger, where the amalgamated company or the resulting company will be entitled deduction for the balanced number of years as was available to the amalgamating or say demerged company. Now here, similar is the tax treatment under section 35A(ba). Similar is the tax treatment under section 35A(ba). What 35A(ba) provides for expenditure for obtaining rights to use spectrum. That was telecommunication license. Here it is spectrum. And basically, in case if you have incurred any capital expenditure, if any capital expenditure has been incurred for obtaining right to use telecommunication, say right to use spectrum for telecommunication services, the same will be allowed as deduction during the period of spectrum on payment basis, or it will be allowed on payable basis also. Now they are saying on payment basis or payable basis. Now when it is allowed on payable basis, say 350 crores is the license fees, spectrum fees, and period of license is 10 years, and which is due basically. This is due, out of which say we have made a payment of 200 crores. 150 crores is due. 150 crores is due, which is to be paid say after 2 years. But if, in case there is any default, we have claimed a deduction on the basis of what 350 crores. So they will recompute that you will be allowed deduction only on the basis how much you have made actual payment. In case if you violate the condition, whatever deduction you have excess claim, the same will be chargeable to tax. So here, in case of deferred payment, option has been taken and there is a violation of condition resulting in termination of allotment or assignment of spectrum, the AO shall recompute the income of the assessee for the previous year in which the deduction has been claimed and granted to him, deeming that the total amount of spectrum fees paid up to the date of termination is what the actual amount paid. Deduction will be computed on that basis, and the spectrum was in force up to the date of termination for computing the income of the for computing the relevant previous years. So that will be what you will be allowed deduction. Okay. So this is the way you have to recompute. Tax provisions relating transfer, amalgamation, they are what same, demerger, they are same as of what 35A(b). They are same. So this is what fundamental difference is here. On payable basis also, you are allowed deduction, but if you violate the conditions, then the assessing officer will compute the total income of the previous year in which deduction has been claimed and granted to him by deeming that whatever amount has been paid, that is the actual payment which has been made, that is the amount which is deductible for the period when the spectrum was in force till the violation of condition is there. Then we are having section 35AD, that is optional deduction is there. Now here in this case, these are the specified businesses. What are the specified businesses? If the assessee is engaged in these specified businesses, if the assessee is engaged in the specified businesses, he will be what? Entitled deduction. He will be entitled deduction basically under section 35 AD. Whatever capital expenditure has been incurred, the same will be deductible other than cost of land, goodwill and financial instruments. Now, what are the specified businesses for which the assessee can claim deduction? Basically, it is what? Number one is, say, cold chain facilities. He is engaged in the business of, say, cold chain facility or warehousing facility for agricultural produce. It is warehousing facility for agricultural produce. It is, say, they are engaged in hospitals, housing projects, fertilizer plants, cross-country natural gas pipeline network, cross-country crude or petroleum oil pipeline network, 2-star category. Hospitals must have a minimum 100 beds for patients. Slum redevelopment housing project are there. Say there are what? Inland container depots, container freight stations, beekeeping and production of honey and beeswax, warehousing facilities for sugar is there, slurry pipeline is there, semiconductor wafer manufacturing unit, infrastructure facilities. So these are basically the specified businesses in which the assessee is engaged. Assessee is engaged in these business. They are what? The cold chain facilities, warehousing facilities for agricultural produce, hospitals are there, housing projects are there, fertilizer plants are there, cross-country natural gas pipeline network, cross-country crude or petroleum oil pipeline network, 2-star or above category hotels, slum redevelopment housing projects are there, inland container depots or container freight stations, beekeeping, production of honey and beeswax, warehousing facilities for sugar, slurry pipelines, they are engaged in the business of the same, semiconductor wafer manufacturing unit for these ICs, etc., for mobile chips and infrastructure facility. In that particular circumstance, this is an optional deduction where 100% of the capital expenditure which has been incurred, 100% of the capital expenditure which has been incurred, the same will be deductible. Then whatever expenditure has been incurred, if expenditure has been incurred exceeding rupees 10,000, expenditure incurred exceeding rupees 10,000 to a person in a day, if expenditure has been incurred exceeding rupees 10,000 to a person in a day, otherwise then by way of, say, account pay check or account pay bank draft or use of electronic clearing system or other electronic modes as prescribed. Other than that, if your payment is made 10,000 rupees in aggregate to a person in a day, or expenditure has been incurred on land, goodwill and financial instrument, the same will not be eligible. The same will not be admissible. Now here, this is the important point. You must remember that the minimum use of capital asset for a specified business basically is 8 years. If you use the asset prior to 8 years for other purposes, then whatever amount of deduction has been claimed by us as reduced by the depreciation that would have been allowable, had the asset been used for that other purpose, as reduced by the depreciation, the same will be what? Chargeable to tax in the year of misutilization. So we have taken a plant and machinery for 100 lakhs. We have claimed a deduction of 100 lakhs. Now after, say, 2 years time frame, it's now used for non-specified business. So in the first year, the depreciation would have been allowed, would have been what? Say 15 lakhs is the original, say, normal depreciation, and 20 lakhs is the additional depreciation, 35 lakhs. So 65 lakhs will be there. On that, 15% depreciation will be admissible. Okay, so 9.75. So they say that here, this much amount basically will be chargeable to tax as PGBP income, and subsequently will be entitled to take depreciation on this element of 55.25 lakhs. Assets used for non-specified purposes within 8 years, deduction allowed as reduced by the allowable depreciation, as we have discussed, the same will be taxable. Deduction is allowed under this section. Where deduction is allowed under this section, then you cannot claim deduction under any other provisions. Then under chapter 6A, in respect of income, or say 10AA, you won't be entitled deduction. Then in case specified business loss is there, the same can be carried forward and set off only from profits of specified business. Specified business loss, the same can be carried forward and set off only from profits of specified business, and specified business loss has to be carried forward indefinitely. It can be what? Carried forward indefinitely. So that is what section 35AD, it's a very important section from examination point of view. Questions can be asked from this particular section, 35AD. Then we have certain small sections, they are 35 CCA. If any expenditure has been incurred by way of payment to Rural Development Fund or National Urban Poverty Eradication Fund, 100% of the expenditure so incurred by way of payment will be deductible. Then 35 CCAs, CCC basically, 35 CCC is expenditure on notified agricultural extension project. Expenditure on notified agricultural extension project, 100% of the expenditure so incurred will be deductible. 100% of the expenditure which has been so incurred will be deductible. Then 35 CCD is expenditure other than land or building on notified skill development project which has been incurred by the company SSE. Expenditure on notified skill development project incurred by company SSE, 100% of such expenditure will be deductible. That under section 35 CCD. Then we have 35D, this is very important, that is amortization of preliminary expense. Here the eligible assessee, the Indian company or a person other than a company resident in India. So eligible assessee who is getting the benefit of the amortization of preliminary expenses, it is Indian company or a person other than a company resident in India. Here basically preliminary expenditure has been incurred before the commencement of the business. Preliminary expenditure has been incurred before the commencement of the business or for setting up a new unit or say extension of a new unit. Then we can what? Claim deduction on account of preliminary expenditure so incurred. Here say preliminary expenditure of 25 lakhs has been incurred. This is a preliminary expenditure which has been incurred. Preliminary expenditure of 25 lakh has been incurred. Now we have to see what is the cost of project. Say cost of project is 400 lakhs. If the cost of project is 400 lakhs, we can get the benefit of deduction only to the extent of 5% of cost of project. 5% of cost of project here works out to be 20 lakhs. So here this 20 lakhs will be eligible. If cost of project is say 800 lakhs, whatever expenditure has been incurred, 5% of 800 lakhs is 40 lakhs. So 25 lakhs will be eligible. Now this deduction will be allowed in 5 equal installments. Deduction of preliminary expenses will be allowed in 5 equal installments, beginning with the previous year, in which the business so commences, or if it is in relation to extension, extension takes place, or new unit so commences the production. In case of Indian companies, the Indian companies have say an option. Basically they can claim deduction on account of preliminary expenditure. Ceiling limit will be what? 5% of the cost of project or 5% of the capital employed, which is higher. Remember that in calculating capital employed, share premium will not form the part of the capital employed. That has been decided by the Supreme Court in Berger Paints India Limited case. And if other provisions are that you will have to get their accounts audited. Amalgamation and demerger, where amalgamation and demerger takes place, the amalgamated company or resulting company will be entitled deduction as was available to amalgamating or demerged company, okay, in the same manner. Then we are having 35DD. 35DD is basically dealing with what? Expenditure which has been incurred by Indian company on amalgamation or demerger. If any capital expenditure has been incurred by Indian company on amalgamation or demerger, then the expenditure so incurred will be allowed as deduction in 5 equal installments. The expenditure so incurred will be allowed as deduction in 5 equal installments, beginning with the previous year in which the expenditure so incurred. Similarly, we are having expenditure which has been incurred on by way of payment of compensation on voluntary retirement scheme. So we are having amortization of VRS expenditure. Eligible assessee here is any person. Expenditure, 100% of the expenditure has been incurred in connection with voluntary retirement. Deduction and period, it is what? 1/5 of the expenditure. The same will be deductible for each of the 5 years starting with the year in which the expenditure has been incurred. Here, and in case of amalgamation and demerger or business reorganization, what happens if amalgamation takes place, demerger takes place, or business reorganization takes place? Deduction will be available to the amalgamated company, resulting company, or the successor for the balance number of years as was available to the predecessor or amalgamating or say demerged company. So 35 DDA VRS expenditure, it will be allowed in 5 equal installments. Compensation which has been paid in connection with voluntary retirement scheme. Then section 35E is there. Section 35E. 35E is containing the statutory provisions for deduction for expenditure on prospecting etc. of certain minerals. 35E is deduction in respect of expenditure on prospecting etc. of certain minerals. Eligible assessee here is Indian company or a person other than a company resident in India. It's a non-corporate resident assessee. Now basically here capital expenditure has been incurred on prospecting, extraction or production of minerals during the year of commercial production and in 4 preceding years. Expenditure has been incurred, capital nature expenditure, the same has been incurred. The capital expenditure other than capital expenditure, basically it is revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure will not be eligible. It is what expenditure has been incurred on prospecting, extraction and production of minerals in the year of commercial production and in 4 years preceding the year. If you acquire, expenditure has been incurred of say, acquisition of site or deposits of minerals or say assets in respect of which depreciation will be admissible, the same won't be eligible. Basically, the same won't be eligible. Other than capital expenditure, if expenditure has been incurred, the same will be allowed when the expenditure has been incurred in the year of commercial production and in say preceding 4 years, then it will be allowed in 10 equal installments. The same will be allowed in 10 equal installments beginning with the year in which the commercial production takes place and 9 succeeding years. Say for example, if we have incurred 250 lakhs as expenditure and it will be allowed in 10 equal installments. So installment amount works out to be 25 lakhs under section 35E. Now in case if income before allowing installment is say 18 lakhs, then here to the tune of 18 lakhs deduction will be admissible. Unallowed amount will be how much? Say unallowed amount will be 7 lakhs. Unallowed amount will be 7 lakhs. In this particular case, unallowed amount is 7 lakhs. So the same will be added in next installment. Next installment will be how much? 32 lakhs. 25 plus 7 is 32 lakhs. And so on. It will be added. However, the total period cannot exceed what? 10 years. So in case if the income is less than the amount of installment, the unallowed amount will be added in the next installment and so on. However, the installment will not be allowed to be carried forward for what? 10 years. So that is what section 35E dealing with deduction in respect of prospecting, extraction, production of minerals, revenue nature expenditure has been incurred. Now section 36. 36 is dealing with other deductions. Section 36 is dealing with other deductions. We have seen insurance premium. We have seen insurance premium of what? Building under section 30. Plant and machinery under section 31. But we are having say stocks and stores. We are having stocks and stores. So insurance premium of stocks and stores against damage or destruction will be admissible as deduction. If in case if any insurance premium is paid by a Federal Milk Cooperative Society on life of the cattle owned by the members of Primary Milk Society, that will be admissible as deduction. If the Primary Milk Cooperative Society is supplying milk to Federal Milk Cooperative Society, the Federal Milk Cooperative Society is paying insurance premium of that cattle, that is admissible as deduction. Then health insurance premium paid by any mode other than cash, health insurance premium under on the health of the employees under a scheme which has been framed by Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. So here the health insurance premium paid by any mode of payment other than cash by an employer on health of his employee under a scheme which has been framed by Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, the same will be deductible. Then it is bonus or commission. Bonus and commission which is paid to employee for services rendered. Otherwise, otherwise they have been payable to him as profits and dividends. Now here bonus and commission is deductible as per the provisions of section 43B. Whatever bonus and commission is paid to the employees, it should not be in lieu of dividend or profits. The same must not be in lieu of dividend or profits. So bonus and commission to the employees for services rendered, the same is deductible, and 43B provisions apply here. The payment must be made on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income. Then it will be allowed in the previous year to which it relates. Otherwise, the same will be allowed in the year of payment. Then we are having interest on borrowed capital. If any capital has been borrowed, which is used for the purpose of business and profession of the assessee, then interest on borrowed capital will be deductible. Here, if interest relates to a period, before the asset is put to use, then the same will not be allowed as deduction. Similarly, under 36(1)(3)(a), discount on zero coupon bonds will be allowed as deduction. This discount on zero coupon bonds. What does the discount mean? Discount basically is the difference between the issue price and the redemption price. That is the difference. Discount between this difference between issue price and redemption price. The same will be allowed as reduction during the period of life of such bond. What is the period of life of such bond? Period starting from the date of issue of bond and ending with the date of maturity or redemption of such bond. Period starting from the date of issue of bond and ending with the date of maturity or redemption of bond. Then section 36(1)(4) is employer's contribution to recognized provident fund, approved superannuation fund. Deduction will be subject to the provisions of section 43B. Then 36(1)(4)(a) is employer's contribution to NPS account of the employee. Whatever is the employer's contribution to the NPS account of the employee, or 10% of salary. Salary here means basic salary, and DNS allowance to the extent it forms part of retirement benefits. So whichever is lower, the same will be allowed as deduction. Similarly, employer's contribution to approved gratuity fund, same is subject to the provisions of section 43B. Whatever employer is contributing to approved gratuity fund. So it is a recognized provident fund, approved superannuation fund, NPS account, approved gratuity fund, the same is deductible. In 36(1)(5)(a), if any contribution is made by employee towards staff welfare scheme, it is treated as income. It is treated as income. And when the same is deposited in the relevant fund, on or before the due date of relevant fund, it will be admissible as deduction. In case if you are keeping any animals, for the purpose of business and profession, otherwise than as stock in trade, if these such animals have died, or say they have become permanently useless. If the animals have died or they have become permanently useless, then the difference between what the actual cost and the sale proceeds of the animal or its carcasses, the same will be allowed as deduction. If the cost of animal was say 45,000 rupees and the sale proceeds of the carcasses is say 5,000 rupees, so here 40,000 will be allowed as deduction. Now this is important. 36(1)(7), that is bad debts. The bad debts which is written off as irrecoverable in the accounts of the assessee is deductible. Bad debts which is written off as irrecoverable in the accounts of the assessee of the previous year is deductible. Amount of debt taken into account in computing the income of the assessee, if say as per the income computation and disclosure standards, if any income has been recognized for tax purposes, but the same has not been recognized for accounting purposes. Now that income has become say bad, so how you will write off, because it has not been recognized in the accounts. Therefore, they have provided that will be deemed as what? Written off. In case deduction will be allowed if any debt, the same has been taken into account in computing the income of the assessee on basis of ICDS, but has not been taken into account in accounting purposes, then in that particular circumstance, that has become debt, bad, that debt has become bad, then it will be what? Written off as irrecoverable. Then if, bad debt was 50,000, debtors were 50,000 rupees. We have claimed a deduction under section 3617 for say 27,000 rupees. The remaining amount is 23 and ultimate recovery is 10,000. Ultimate recovery is 10,000. Then here 13,000, this 13,000. Ultimate recovery is 10,000. Then 13,000 will be what? Deductible. Okay, that has been provided. And in case if any extra amount has been recovered, it will be chargeable to tax. It will be profits chargeable to tax under section 41(4). If there is a recovery of bad debt, then the taxable amount will be the extra amount so recovered will be taxed under 41(4). Then we are having under 3617A, this is provision for bad and doubtful debts. Under section 3617A, it is provision for bad and doubtful debts. Here, in case of an Indian scheduled bank or say a non-scheduled bank, cooperative bank other than Primary Agricultural Credit Society and Primary Agricultural and Rural Development Bank. In this case, other than that, if there are these banks, they will be allowed deduction. How much deduction will be allowed on account of provision of bad and doubtful debts? That is not exceeding 8.5% of the gross total income before allowing deduction under this clause. 8.5% of GTI. That is what before making deduction under this clause and chapter 6A deduction. So it's basically 8.5% of GTI plus 10% of the aggregate average advances which have been made by our rural branches. In case of foreign banks, public financial institutions, state financial corporations, state industrial investment corporations and NBFCs, provision is allowed not exceeding what 5% of the GTI before making deduction under this clause. Additional deduction is not allowed. Besides this, in case of Indian scheduled banks and non-scheduled bank, whatever premium is derived from redemption of securities which have been credited to profit and loss account, to that extent, deduction, further deduction will be admissible. Now, if we are having provision account, provision balance is say, as per the 3617A, 150 lakhs is the provision. Actual bad debt is 180 lakhs. So to the extent of 150, it will be met out from provision account and remaining 30 lakhs will be allowed as deduction under section 3617. So this is about provision for bad and doubtful debts. Only banks, non-scheduled, scheduled, foreign bank, PFIs, SFCs, SIICs and NBFCs, they are allowed deduction on account of provision for bad and doubtful debt. For other assessees, deduction will be admissible only when such bad debt has been written off as irrecoverable in the accounts. Then we are having 3618, that is what? Transfer to special reserve. This is transfer to special reserve. So special reserves which have been created and maintained by specified entities in respect of eligible business of providing long-term finance for industrial, agricultural, infrastructure development or housing in India. So special reserves have been created and maintained by the specified entities in respect of eligible business for providing what? Long-term finance for infrastructure, agriculture, development. So here, if any amount has been transferred to special reserves, these entities are carrying on the business, basically specified entities. What are specified entities? They are what, it may be a public financial institution, it may be a financial corporation, it may be a banking company, it may be a cooperative bank, they are engaged, housing finance companies. So they are engaged in these businesses of providing long-term finance for purchase or construction of residential house. Yeah, they are providing long-term finance for industrial, agricultural, infrastructure development or housing in India. Deduction is allowed. Least of the following amount is deductible. What is what? 20% of the profits from eligible business. It is 20% of profits from eligible business. Amount transferred to special reserve account, and it is what? Twice of the paid up share capital plus general reserves minus the opening balance of special reserve, whichever is lower. Least of the following amount will be deductible. In case if any amount is withdrawn from a special reserve account, it will be what? Taxable in the year of withdrawal. Then in case of company assessees under section 3619 company assessees, they are eligible for deduction in respect of family planning. Revenue expenditure has been incurred, 100% of such deduction is admissible. If capital expenditure has been incurred, then the same will be allowed in 5 equal installments during the period of 5 years. Similarly, if any revenue expenditure has been incurred by a notified corporation or a body corporate constituted or established under the Act, deduction will be admissible. Contribution of basically public financial institution towards credit guarantee fund trust, the same will be allowed as deduction. There is a credit guarantee fund trust for small industries, and these public financial institutions are making the contribution towards credit guarantee fund trust. For the assessees who are engaged in the business of selling and purchasing of securities or commodities, if they are engaged in the business and they are paying commodities transaction tax, securities transaction tax, the same will be admissible as deduction. Then purchase of sugarcane by a cooperative society at a price which is equal to or less than the price which has been fixed or approved by the government, deduction is admissible. Similarly, mark-to-market losses or other expected losses which are computed in accordance with the ICDS, deduction is admissible for the same. So that is what about the general, say, the other deductions which have been provided under section 36. So this is an important list dealing with the provisions of the deductions. Now section 37 is general deduction. Now for getting the admissibility of deductions under section 37, that is general deduction, the deduction must not be covered under section 30 to 36. It must not be covered under section 30 to 36. It must not be personal expense of the assessee. It should not be personal expense of the assessee. It should not be capital in nature. It should be incurred during the previous year wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business. Wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business. It should be incurred during the previous year wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business. And in case if any expenditure has been incurred for an offense or which is prohibited by law, then the same will not be deductible. CSR expenditure will not be deductible. If any expenditure has been incurred in advertisement, by way of advertisement in any magazine of, say, political party or tract, pamphlet, etc. of political party, the same will not be deductible. Here it is not deductible, but under 80 GGB, Indian company will be entitled deduction. It will be deductible under section 80 GGB because the same comes under the meaning of contribution. So all the other expenditures, say raw material purchase, carriage, advertisement, everything, salary to staff, etc. Everything is what covered in section 37. So fundamentally, the deductions which is admissible under section 37, it should not be covered under 30 to 36. It should not be personal expense of the assessee. It should not be capital in nature. It should be incurred wholly and exclusively for the purpose of business during the previous year. Expenditure should not be for an offense or which is prohibited by law. It should not be a CSR expenditure that is not deductible. Expenditure which has been incurred by your advertisement in any magazine, etc. of political party, the same is not deductible. So this is about what the various expenditures which are deductible. Now we'll be discussing the other provisions in our next lecture.